Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel and welcome back to a stream of Farming Simulator 25, and we are getting started on our stream here. But if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, that like button, that notification bell. Also, don't forget to comment in the live stream, and if you're watching on the replay, don't forget to comment down below. All that stuff for you is free and it helps me and the channel grow. Now, last episode we got quite a few things accomplished, and we're not sure what we're going to be able to do this time, but we did get our greenhouses down and our production building down. Um, so we don't know how much we're going to have when it comes to. All right, it is still 8:35. We're still in. We did sleep till the next month, didn't we? Let's see here. All right, so yep, nothing we can do as of right now. But we did get our production building in, so it'll start putting out pallets. We're gonna fast forward the day till about 12 o'clock. See if we can get any contracts in. If not, we'll have to move on. Sorry about my wife's sneeze there. But anyway, we'll get on to 12 o'clock here, and then we'll see if any contracts have come up that we can do. And if not, we'll fast forward to about 3 o'clock and see if there's any. Alright, let's see. We do have a lot of contracts popped up. A bunch of cultivating contracts. And some plowing contracts. So, no fertilizing, but... Oh no, okay, we got a bunch of everything. So, we'll be able to get some stuff done. Well, let's tell you what, we'll start off with the fertilizing contracts. Get those out of the way. Okay, and this one. Alright, let's go get those. I need to drop off that. Now I know it seems like we've been doing a lot of the same types of contracts, and that's because we have to. Alright, so let's go do 10 first. And then we'll go down to 134, and then we'll come back and do 73 and 71. But my general plan is for us to not have to do this after this year that much, and maybe, it'll be putting workers on contracts instead of us having to do them. And that way we'll be able to start working on stuff on our own place. But we got to get money to purchase land, a harvester, a planter, or seeder. We got to do that stuff first. So the only way we can make money right now, we do have our production building down, so it'll start making money for us, but it's going to be a little slow at the beginning. We should get a decent amount in next month, hopefully. Alright, this is 10 right here. But hopefully I'll be able to do the worker on some contracts after, here pretty soon, where we're not having to do all of them. And that way we can start working on our own field, because I do hope to purchase a field soon. We'll see where we get. Last episode we made about 65, 70,000. I don't think we're going to get there today, but who knows? I'm not counting the contracts up. We're just going to do whatever we can. We'll do these, then we'll do the plowing contracts, and then we'll do however many cultivation contracts we can do after that. Those take the longest, so we're going to save those for last. Because the fertilizing and plowing don't take very long. Unless it's a really big field for plowing, but I didn't even look to see which ones it was, so. Alright, let's go ahead and finish this one up. And we'll head down to 134, which is way down on the bottom end of the map. I hope everybody's doing good. I hope that y'all are enjoying the series. I'm glad to be back playing Farming Simulator. It's my own version of a challenge. I would say it's a rags to riches challenge, not a survival challenge, because, you know, we did start off with decent equipment. You know, a medium tractor and a fertilizer spreader, so not like you would in a survival. Alright. We gotta find the road that goes out that doesn't have a fence. This map is a little challenging to get from one end of the map to the other, because the roads don't go all the way through. Maybe this one over here does. Yeah, I think that one right there will. And there's not a lot of roads on this map. All these fields are stacked on top of each other, which is fine. Just until I learn where I can cut through at, it's going to take a little time. Alright, so we can go this way. And I think the road cuts back the other way. But yeah, you see a lot of these roads have fences on them, so we can't get through there. Here we go. So it is a little bit of a challenge to get around, but we can go through here and then cut back across. Gotta take the creek to get through there. And then I think we can make us a little path right here. And I may go back off camera and make some little path roads through some of this brush, even though we don't own the land. I do have landscaping anywhere, and I may do that just for us to find places to go through a little easier. Alright, so 134 is what we're looking for. Alright, let's pull up the big map. Okay, so it's going to be this one. I think right here. Correct? Yep. Alright, so let's just spin around. At least we can do this one in one pass, so it will not take long at all. Alright. But I really like the way, you have a lot of these long narrow fields, but they're all different widths, so it's not like the same, every field is the same. I like the way he's done that. I'm really bragging on the guy that made this map. Should be able to spin around and get it. over to field 73 and then 71 after that. Alright, 73 is this little field right over here. We can head back to our farm, drop this off, and we'll pick up the plane. Actually, let's go ahead and collect those contracts. Alright, let's make sure there aren't any more fertilizing in there. Alright, let's refresh. Okay, we did get another one, and it is right where we are, so we'll take that. It's literally right behind us. That is, let's see. I think it's this one here. Looks like we were in 68. Let me check something. Okay. Sorry, I'm just making sure everything's going like it's supposed to. Let's go pick up the plow. We'll grab those contracts. And like I said, we'll do the cultivation after that since those take a while. Alright, let's go down to plowing. We'll accept all these. Alright, let's see. 156. It's way down there. 65 and 74. We'll come back to those. We'll go do one first. Get the furthest ones away first. We're close to our farm and we need to switch implements. But already we've made about 7,000, almost 8,000. And we are playing this on hard economy, if you haven't watched before. And we can only buy and sell things on our own property. We can't use anything on the map. We can only do contracts for stuff that we have equipment for. And we also, after we purchase 2 pieces of land that we can farm ourselves, we can only do 5 contracts per month. And like I said, that'll mostly be worker stuff. We're not going to be doing many contracts once we get our own farm up and running. We'll let the workers do that. And probably, once we get to that point, we'll have our worker, we're going to have a second tractor before we can do that. So let's go ahead and unfold that. Alright, is this field one? I think it is. I don't know what. Yeah, this is. Let's double check. No, that's field 2. Okay. So that one on the other side of the fence threw me off there. Alright, let's go ahead and get this one done. One thing we are going to do is upgrade our plow. And we can't do that on our farm yet, so we'll have to go to the store to do that. But it's our own equipment, so we can upgrade it. We just, I haven't built a garage yet. That's on the low side of the priorities right now. We want to get this other stuff done. But we are going to upgrade this plow. I think it's going to be about $5,000 to upgrade it to the 12 meter. That will just make these jobs even faster, so we can progress through a little more. I would love to get a bigger cultivator, but it's not really going to be worth it because I won't be using the cultivator on our own land. I'll be plowing. So even though a big one would make these contracts a lot faster, it's kind of a waste of money in my opinion, because we're not going to be using it. The only fields we would be using the cultivator on would be rice fields if we decide to do those, which we might. But if we do, unless viewers recommend or prefer that I do regular rice, we're going to be doing the long grain rice, so I don't have to buy extra equipment, because we can use our seeder and our harvester on that. And it just makes it a lot easier, and they're still expensive to do. The rice fields are. Like I said, I probably will just stick with long grain rice and probably not going to do regular rice unless that's what people want me to do. If y'all want me to do that, then I will do it. But we're going to be a ways away from that. Let's go ahead and pick that up. Go ahead and fold it up. And we're going to go ahead and upgrade this now, because we can go back by the store and then head over to field 156. Actually, you know what? We could go ahead and put a repair thing down. Yeah, let's do that. We're going to need one anyway, and we have the money to do it. So there's a little cheap one that I use. So we'll do that, and then we'll go do these other contracts. That's something we do need on the farm. So right here. Let's open our construction menu. Remember where it's at. I have to find it. Tools, I think. It's not that one. Yeah. So I'm going to put this one down right here. Okay. Now we can pull in here. Get out of that. Yeah, I parked over the trigger, didn't I? Alright. Let's here. Okay. There we go. Alright, now we'll hit R. And we'll click on this. We're going to customize it. And we're going to go ahead and make it the big one, which is going to cost us $4,000. Alright. Alright. Now we have a big plow. Alright. Now let's head down to 156. This one. Okay, alright. So 2 more over. So it should be this one right here. guys. Don't forget if you're watching to chat and let me know you're here. If you have any questions about what's going on, I'll be glad to answer those. Alright, then we need to head to field 74. Go ride through the woods here. Looks like this is field 74, so let's back down a little bit. Go ahead and unfold here. this one about 60% complete. One more plowing job, and then we will move on to cultivation. Let's head up to field 65. Looks like it's going to be this field right here. You guys, welcome into the stream. Feel free to chat, ask questions, or whatever. Or if you want to just sit and lurk, that's fine too. I'd love to talk with you guys. But welcome to the stream anyway. We're working on trying to save up money to buy our own land so we can start farming in the spring. And we are playing on seasons, but if people would prefer that I just plant whatever I want when I want, we can do that too. But until somebody tells me different, we're going to stick with seasons. So even if we buy land right now, we can't do anything but prep it and get it ready for the spring. But we could go ahead and plow it and fertilize it and all that good stuff. Right now, the only contracts we can do are plowing, cultivation, and fertilizing, because that's the only equipment we have. But we do have a couple of greenhouses and a production building down, so we will be able to make a little bit of money of our own, each month until we start getting more things in there. Yeah, it is a multi-production building. It does produce a lot of different things. Our greenhouses produce a lot of different things. So we're not going to struggle as much as like you would in a survival challenge. But it is going to be a little bit of a struggle just getting to the point where we can plant our own stuff. Alright, let's go ahead and accept those. Alright, and we'll go into cultivating. We're going to take them all. Don't know that we'll get them all done, but we're going to try. Okay. Alright, let's go get our cultivator. Alright, so looking at the map, 144 is up top, not far from our house. And we got 44, which is right by our house. And then 95 and 91 are down below, and we'll save 78 for last because that's going to be the biggest one. So we'll do these two up here, and then we'll go down and get 95 and 91. And we'll end up with 78. But real quick, let's check the sales, see if there's anything we can use. Yeah. That Massey would be nice. Not a lot of horsepower, but it'd be enough to pull this. And then it can be upgraded for 17.5 to 130 or 100. Not exactly what we're looking for. What was the other thing? A baler? Oh, alright, so it is a round baler and wrapper combo, right? Yep, that would be a good one to have for 50,000. But we don't need it right now. Alright, let's go over here and get field number 44, which is right here. I'm terrible at backing these things up. Let's spin around this way. Excuse me. Alright, let's go ahead and drop that down. But we'll go ahead and cut the lines on for this. We're going to be here for a little bit. We'll get us a couple of headlands done, that way we have room to turn around. register the right field, please. Alright, we'll just get as close as we can to the edge. Yeah, I hate it. These fields are so close together, it's reading the other field instead of this one. Again. Okay. Go ahead and just do this other little strip up here. Nope, not that one. That one, please. Hello everyone. Chat Strict says thank you for hopping in, buddy. Good to have you here. Alright, we are working toward saving money for our own land. Only contracts we can do right now are cultivation, plowing, and fertilizing. We've already done the plowing and fertilizing contracts we could do. So we've got these cultivation contracts to try to make up some money. We do have one piece of land that we bought to build our little farmyard on. We have a couple of greenhouses and production building down. I'll show you that real quick. This is Sobowelo, I think is how it's pronounced. It's a European map. It has a ton of fields, as you can see. That's why I chose this one. We started up there in the corner around, well, right over there. That's our yard. We started up here because it looked like a good place to start. We can't borrow any equipment. We can't take out loans. I started with just this tractor and a fertilizer spreader and 4 pallets of fertilizer. That's what I started with, and everything else we have gotten just from doing contracts. It started off with fertilizing. We bought a plow and a cultivator. We started doing those contracts. We're in October. We started in August. So when we get done with this contract, I'll open up the production menu and show you. Now, there aren't a lot of roads on this map, so you kind of have to drive across the fields. That's why we've got crop destruction off, because there's really no way around it. There's very few roads, and there's a lot of fences near the road, so you can't always get through. But that's what we're doing. I call it, I guess you could call it a rags to riches type thing. We will be doing some animals. We'll be doing cows, goats, and chickens. My normal rule where I can't hold on to stuff unless, the only things I can hold on to are stuff being stored for productions we can produce. If I can't produce anything with it, I have to sell it every month. I can't hold on to them. Like for right now, we have lettuce, strawberries, and tomatoes spawning because I don't have anything to use those items, so I can't just store them. I have to sell them every month. What did you cook us? I'm hungry. I made spaghetti, man. Come over and get you some. You might be able to wrangle some out of Pam's hands. But yeah, real quick, we'll go in. We have 2 open air gardens, only using the water side of it because that's what we have. And then we have this farm production building, which we'll look at here in a little bit. Be there in 5. All right, well, come on. I'll fix you a plate of spaghetti if you want to come get it. Alright, so our production building, it's a multi-production building. It makes all this stuff. We only have stuff cut on that we can produce right now out of the greenhouses. So, I cut on sunflower oil, all this stuff our greenhouses make. So, as soon as we get some products in there, it will start making those things. So, hopefully it won't take too long. Let's get this little strip I missed over here. To get us a couple of pieces of land, of course we still need a harvester, we need a planter, lime spreader, which I'm not 100% worried about. We can do without the lime for 1 year. But definitely we have to get a seeder and a harvester and header and trailer so we can harvest our crops. And then eventually I'll get a mower where we can plant grass and start making TMR for our cows that we will get at some point eventually, hopefully. But yep, starting off hard. We're in hard economy, so stuff isn't worth very much, and the contracts are a lot less than what normal is. As I'll show you here, you're familiar with a lot of the products in the game. Uh, Things sell for a lot less. Like wood chips on normal economy, they sell for about 1,000 in January. One day you'll be able to play this again, I hope. Yeah, and it's weird that you can't log into the game. I don't know what's going on there. Um, Alright, so, like for instance, bread, just show you what bread is worth. I don't have any right now, but alright, bread is normally about 3,500 to 700 a pallet, and here 2,000 is all you get. So yeah, hard economy makes it a lot harder because you just make a lot less money on off your products. But you know me, I like it challenging. So but guys, if you haven't, give Strict9 a love. He plays a lot of different simulator games, and games like Schedule One, Cozy, what was it, Critter Cove. Um, he plays American Truck Simulator. He plays Planet Crafter, along with some other ones. So give his channel a check out. Give him a subscribe. If you like his stuff, give him a subscribe button, and that way you can see his videos as well. He's a good friend, and he's the one that got me started in YouTube. So definitely check him out. I owe you 100K. I was not the leader of that, sir. He's talking about we just got through doing American Truck Simulator a little while ago, and I had to slam on my brakes to keep from avoiding a wreck, and he didn't get so lucky. He ran into everything. He had to get his truck towed and everything. I felt bad, but it wasn't my fault. It was the car in front of me's fault that stopped in front of me. But yeah, I'll just tell you the check's in the mail, buddy. You'll get it, never. But it's in the mail. You know how that crazy post office can be. But yeah, guys, definitely give him a look and subscribe to his channel. He's got a lot of good content on there. A lot of playlists, way more than I have, but I'm catching up to him quickly. I do a lot more than he does because he still works. I'm stuck at home. Yeah, you did hit me, but it didn't damage my truck, so I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth. My truck took no damage, so there's no proof of that anywhere. It was fun. We streamed with Mad Dog, and myself and him did some convoys on ATS, and we're going to try to do that every week if Strick's work schedule will allow it. But I'd get a lot more done because I'm stuck at home all the time, and he has to work for a living. So you have 81 playlists. I'm not sure how many I have. I haven't checked on that lately. Alright, we're done with this one. Let's go get the next one. Excuse me, my throat is so dry. Alright, so 144 is right down this way. You have it on video. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure how many I have. I know it's probably 30-ish. Alright, looks like this is field 5. So this one over here must be 144. It's, nope. Yep. We're in 144. And you know what? We'll just go from here. I'm not going to try to back that up. We'll get it when we come back around. Oh, you haven't on video? Okay, well, I'm gonna have to check that out. It was funny. Uh, yep, I made 41,000 on that load, and I think he lost about 90,000. But yeah, guys, please go over and give his channel a look. He has a lot of good stuff on there. He's been doing this a lot longer than me. I've only been doing it for about 9 months. He has been doing it for a few years. You have 100K. Oh, it was 100K to fix your truck. Oh, okay, I got you. Yep, he ate it hard. He did. I felt bad, but it really wasn't my fault. I had to slam on my brakes, so. If I could transfer the money to him, I would. But I don't know how to do that. Oh, come on. I hate it when it picks the other field like that because they're so close together. Oh, plus 8K for the load? Wow. Yeah, so you did lose some money on that. So you lost about a total of 65,000 on that. Because you made, well, I don't know how much you made because you had a penalty. So 65 to 70,000 you lost. Oh, you still made 300K on the day. Yeah, I'm sitting at like 294,000, which is the most I've had. I think I'm gonna go ahead and buy that reefer trailer and another truck for a driver and hire another driver, because I want to start doing some of my own loads like that, just to do something different. I looked, and the reefer trailer is like 139,000. So I can get it and still have enough to purchase another truck and have a little bit of money left over for expenses and loan payments. Oh, you gonna buy a trailer too? Yeah, I just want to do it just for fun. It's gonna make getting loads. Now I probably won't buy the trailer until I get done with Iowa because I only need to go to 2 more cities in Iowa. So I wanna finish that up before I do anything else. I'll probably go ahead and buy the truck, but and hire a driver. But as far as the trailer goes, I'll probably wait until I'm done with Iowa for that. Yeah, I could buy 2 trucks, which I guess in turn would make me more money in the quicker. Um, but I don't know. I've been wanting to get a trailer for a while, so I'm gonna think about it. I've got until Wednesday to think about it. So we're gonna start going up and down now. Yeah, there was another really nice cab truck in my used car sales that was only like 136,000. You know, that had the sleeper cab on it, so I may purchase that. So it only had like 16,000, I think, on it. So alright. About 50% done with this one, so it won't take us too long. We still got 3 more to do. Field 78 is going to be a good one though. That one's going to take probably 20-30 minutes in real time at least. It's a pretty big field. One of the biggest in the game, in the map, I think. Yeah, you can. You know, because we were playing without the realistic economy mod. Uh, but I'm alright with that. I mean, I'm still gonna play with realistic economy on my streams I do myself. But for the convoys, with that possibility of what happened to you happening, it's good to be making that extra money. Yeah, 12 is very long. There's a lot of long fields in this one. Um, 11 and 12 are both about the same length. Um, but there's a lot of long, narrow fields in this one. I love this map though because for 2 reasons. One, there's 150 something fields on here, and two, there's there's a lot of them that go beside each other, but they're all different widths. They're not all the same. So he put some thought into it. I like it. I wish there was more roads because you can see if you look between 6 and 36, there's not really any but one road that goes down through all those. And there's trees in between the fields that kind of separate some of them, but you can see that there's a very narrow strip in between each field. So it makes it a little... Yeah, 128 is big. I haven't really been on that one yet. But I know 78 is huge. It doesn't look like it, but when you get into that field, it's pretty big. Alright, well, it didn't accept my thing there, but that's alright. I'll probably just do it on my own. I'll leave the lines on there, though, so I have a direction to go. But yeah, 128 is big. There's quite a few big fields. I did one the other day. I don't remember what field it was I cultivated that paid like 16,000, which is insane for this map, for this hard economy. But that 78 pays 12,000, so it's not quite as big, but it's still big. I want to say it was 55 that I did, but I could be wrong. But it took forever. That's why I'm saving 78 for last, because it's going to be a long one. We're going to go do 91 and 95 next. Because they won't take as long. Yeah, 128's a big field. 124 is pretty big too. 112 is actually a pretty big field because it doesn't look like it, but it's kind of oblong shaped, but not really straight, and it doesn't look like it's as it looks a lot less than what it is, but it's actually a pretty decent sized field. But there are quite a few decent ones here, and lots in the mid range. Most of them are between 1 and 2 acres, or hectares, or whatever. But there are a few that are 12 to 15, I think. But we're gonna have to stick with the smaller fields for now. But I do like, another thing I like about this map is that the fields range a lot of different prices. So there are some cheap fields that are only like 20 something thousand. The one we bought, number 46 over there, which is where all of our stuff is, it was like 27,000. And it was kind of square, so it works pretty good for a yard, and we were able to purchase the 2 greenhouses, a house, and our buying silo, and our selling point, our production building, and our we just purchased our little garage. It looks like a sell point, but it's actually a repair thing. It was only $5,000, and I wanted to upgrade my plow to the bigger version, so the plowing contracts will take a lot less, and when we get our own fields, plowing won't take as long. But yeah, I do like it. Okay, I'll be here. Alright, this one's officially finished. But we'll go ahead and finish this row. Alright, let's head down to number 95. But yeah, playing with crop disruption on this map would be very difficult because there's not a lot of areas you can get around fields, so that's why we're not using it. I mean, it's just like even these places in between the fields aren't wide enough to not damage the crops. Guys, if you're just joining, don't forget to hit that like button if you like what you see, and consider subscribing to the channel. And also, feel free to comment and chat. I promise I won't bite your head off. I'm a nice guy. If you have any questions about what we're doing, feel free. I try to mention it every now and then, but you may not have heard. So if you have questions about what we're doing here, feel free to ask. I will explain it. It's kind of my own little challenge. I don't do other people's challenges. I kind of make up my own, so makes it a little fun for me. Alright, so field 95 is going to be right over here. It is a wonky shaped field, it looks like. This is 95, yeah, so this is a long one. So we'll just start right here. And we'll be streaming this game every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday around between 8 and somewhere between 8 and 9 o'clock. That's when we'll start. Usually closer to 8 o'clock, but there may be a few times I have to start a little bit later. I think we started about 8:30 tonight, so. Guys, we do have plans, but if y'all are wanting me to do particular things, I will do it. I do want to say I'm not doing sheep, I'm not doing horses, I'm not doing pigs. They don't make enough money. I mean, the sheep do over a long period of time, but we're going to do goats, cows, and chickens. Those are the only animals I'm going to do. But anything else is pretty much open for discussion. I would like to stick away from spinach, peas, and green beans because of the cost of the harvesters, but if y'all want to see that, I will do one of them. I'll let you guys tell me which one you want, but otherwise, now I will do carrots, beets, and parsnips because there is a modded harvester that harvests all three of them, so I prefer to have harvesters I can use for multiple crops instead of just one. Now, like I said, if y'all want to see one of those other ones, I will do it, but I'm not going to do all three because it'll take me forever to save up $1.6 million to buy all three of those. So, yeah, we're not going to be printing money in this one like I have in some of the other ones. It's going to take us a while to get going good. So, we won't be doing a lot of forestry stuff. We'll cut trees down on the properties that we have, but there's not a lot of land that you can buy that has trees on it in this map other than one or two that I've noticed. Not 100% on that, but most of the land is fields. I think there are a couple of forestry lands you can buy, but a lot of this land in between the fields is unpurchasable. So, like, I think this stuff right here, I couldn't purchase that. It's not really made for a forest map. Now, I think 89 is a forestry area. I saw another one I thought, but I don't remember. But I know 89 is. It's mostly trees, which is that right there that we're looking at. And it's got the good kind of trees in it. It's, the tall, good trees. But that's one of the few forestry places on this map. Now some of the land does come with some trees, but not a lot. But we're going to mostly be doing aerial farming and root crops. We'll probably do long grain rice. Yeah, I think that's the only one I noticed. Alright, we're going to finish this row here, and then I'm going to turn around and head down that one. I didn't notice any other ones right away, but like I said, some of the land has trees on it, but there's not very much. Like most of the land that has trees, it's like a little strip of trees, and they're all the garbage trees, or whatever you want to call them. I guess all of it's trees, but they're not the good logging type trees. But yeah, I think 89 is the only one that's mainly forestry. Actually, it looks like to be all forestry. It looks like you made a little place in the middle of it where you could build like a little camp, but we're not going to be doing that. Not going to be doing anything with wood a whole lot. We may, have a few trees here and there that we put into a sawmill and just get stuff over time. But we're not going to be trying to make money off wood in this one. I did that a lot on Riverbend Springs. I think I had at one time 4 sawmills running with lots of trees, but we're not going to be doing that in this one. It's all going to be about farming and a few animals, and trying to make as much money as we can from doing that. We're up to 12,000. Once we get all these cultivation contracts done, we'll be over 40. We should be, which puts us pretty close to getting one piece of equipment that we need, which is the seeder, which we're going to have to buy the little small seeder to start with, unless one comes up in the sale. It's so far the only thing that's come up in the sale that's even remotely tempting to buy is that little $15,000 tractor, but it would only be for doing this, having a worker doing cultivation contracts, because this is my least favorite of them to do, and they take the longest. So putting a worker on it and then doing our own thing would be, but I don't think it's really worth buying just for that, just to have contracts going. We got a decent amount of contracts this month. It's going to start falling off in the next 2 months, and then January and February will be next to nothing that we can do. There might be a few fertilizing, maybe a cultivation or two, but we're not going to get a lot of contracts during those months. And then in March, hopefully we're going to have some land to farm ourselves, and we'll plant what we can plant, which will be most likely oats and oats probably, because I think the rest of it is September when we can plant it, as far as green crops go. Now I think rice we can plant in the spring. I think it's April, but until we have land, it ain't a really big deal. So we'll figure it out when that time comes. But yeah, this map isn't really made for forestry. I think 107 actually is a forestry area, looking at it. So maybe 160. 160 looks like a really small field, but it might be surrounded by trees, so it might be a forest area too. But it looks like 107 But the 107 could be just that little small field and the trees around it, so I don't know. Like I said, this map wasn't made for forestry, it was made for farming. Now, I really wish I could afford a set of mowers to make it worth doing the mowing contracts. We're nowhere near that. And I don't want to buy the ones that don't make the swath, because that's what I'm going to need to keep from having to buy windrowers and adding extra steps in everything. Listen to being funny. Okay, we'll just drop this one. It's not going to cooperate. I don't want to spend money that I'm going to have to replace the stuff later. So, because I want, when I'm making grass for silage and hay to make into TMR, I'd rather have something that makes a swath, so I don't have to have that extra step. We will not be doing much baling. We might get a small baler to feed the goats with, just so I don't have to dump grass in there. I can just put a bunch of bales there and, keep feeding them. But baling is not gonna, we're not gonna be making money off of any kind of grass or silage. All of that will be used to make food, or use as food. So we'll bale some grass bales and just put them in our goat area to feed the goats with. But all the other grass will go into a silo to make TMR and all that. Silage is not really worth much in hard economy anyway. It's only worth like 200 and something a bale, or 200 something per thousand. I guess the bales will be worth a decent amount, because the bales are like 6,000 and 7,000. But we're not going to be doing a lot of baling, so it's mostly we're gonna use a forage wagon to pick most of that up. But I would like to make enough money between now and March to buy 2 or 3 pieces of property, a harvester and a seeder and a header for the harvester and a trailer and possibly a forage wagon and mowers, but I don't think we're going to get all that. We'll just have to buy what we can when we can. But I'm not going to be spending the money right now. There's no point in me buying the stuff until I need it. So if we have enough to buy the land and a seeder at the same time, we'll do that. But again, I can't use the seeder until spring anyway, because we're already past the point of planting the other ones. Actually, I may be wrong on that. We might be able to plant wheat or barley in October, but that would require us to make over $100,000 to buy the land and a seeder, so I don't see that happening. Alright, we're going to finish this little strip up right here, then we're going to head back around. So I think we can get most of that on that one, so that way we don't have to come all the way back up here again. I will check though, because if there is a cheap enough field and we can afford the seeder, I might go ahead and do that and have us some wheat planted to harvest in the summer. We'll come back and get it if we have to. Alright, this is going to be a long ride, so we can check the Alright, let's check the seasons tab, because I may be wrong about wheat. Alright, so wheat and barley. Barley can be planted in October, and so can wheat. So we'll see what we have at the end of this stream. We might buy a safe field to plant wheat or barley in. Probably go with wheat because it will be harvested quicker. Because I think barley is only harvested in, see, barley is June and July, wheat is July and August. So I guess barley is faster technically. So we'll see. Alright, let's go. So if we can, by the end of the episode, buy a cedar and a piece of property, we might do that and go ahead and plant some wheat in October to have it ready for next year when that time comes around. I don't know how much money we're going to have, though. I don't think we're going to have enough. We have enough to buy one or the other, maybe, but we're not going to be able to buy both. I don't think. But who knows, we might. There might be more contracts to come up. I mean, we've still got 2 more cultivating contracts to go. We'll go ahead and collect the ones we've completed and see where we're at. So we're at 18,000 plus another 21,000. Yeah, we're not gonna have enough to do both. We might could buy one or the other. I don't even think we can buy the cedar though. I think the cedar's like $49.5. And we can't take out a loan, so we'll just have to make it as we make it. But we can refresh contracts. We might get some more if we have time after. I don't even think we're going to get 78 done. We might get 91 and part of 78, but we're not going to finish 78 in the stream. I don't think it's going to be a long one. This one was bigger than I thought, so. But we'll get 91 done at least. I don't know if we'll finish 78, but we'll get started on it. It's a 4 meter. It was the cheap. This one is like 4 meters and it's only like $9,500. That's why I got this one. It's very small. I would prefer to have a much bigger cultivator, but it's very small. But it's what we could afford, and it allowed us to do more than just fertilizing. So, all right. So is this one 91? It's so hard to tell. Yeah. It is 91. Okay. Alright, well, let's get over here and we'll start on this little strip. Oh, that is a very small tree. Thought that was a bush. Okay. Drop you off at the deer stand. Okay. I'll do that only if you bring me a shoulder or something. There you go. Bloom, jump off. There you go. He might look over that sugar beet field there and see a deer. But yeah, I want a front shoulder off of that, man. Since you know, using me as transportation. Some of them are asleep. Oh, someone is asleep. Yeah, yeah. Pam's tired. She hasn't been feeling good today. Yeah, she has not felt good at all. Yeah, I get up then too, but you know me, I don't need a lot of sleep. And I take a nap every now and then during the day. I won't be able to do that much tomorrow though. I've got four streams tomorrow, so 7, 10:30, 4, and 8:30. Yep. Tomorrow morning we'll be doing. Well, let me double check before I lie. Let's see. Tomorrow we'll be doing Stardew Valley, Storage Dealer Simulator, Two Point Museum, and Teddy's Haven. So, if you're interested in any of those, I'd love to see you. Strick, how you coming along on your dinkum? Yeah, I hate that it didn't work either. Yeah. figured out. Oh, that's the one you want to stream tomorrow, Dinkum? What time are you thinking about streaming it? Oh, I know, but oops. But I was just, that maybe I could push one of my streams back, try to help you, see if I could help you figure out what's going on there. So yeah, I'll cancel my 10 o'clock stream. Yeah, someone hit E. I'll cancel my 10 o'clock stream and I'll give you a call when I get done with my 7 o'clock stream, and we'll see if we can't figure out why it's not working. And then if you're ready to stream before too much after that, I can just jump in on your stream and help you and record that instead of doing my storage dealer, so I can push it back to another day. And I can jump out in on your stream and Dinkum and help you get some money up and stuff. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Do co-op on your dinkum because I'm a lot farther along than you are. I think I don't mind helping you out. Or if you wanted to start a brand new one, we could do that too. It doesn't make a difference. But I'll get done streaming tomorrow about 9:30 for my 7 o'clock stream, and I'll make sure you're not recording, and I'll give you a call, and we'll see if we can't get your streaming to work, and then we can co-op dinkum together. So 72% complete on this one, and then we got the big one, which is 78, which doesn't look as big, but it's a lot bigger than this one. This one's long, but it's not very wide. That one's kind of big and wide. So, I mean, you can see it right up there, kind of in front of us. So, yeah, we'll figure it out. Yes, at 4 meters, it is going to take a while to do 78. I probably won't finish it this stream. Probably finish it up next stream because we're probably going to have to move on into the next month after this. Because I mean, I'll refresh contracts again a few times to see if we get any more, but I don't know how many more we'll actually be able to get. There are a few fields that need work. Get your popcorn ready. All right. That actually sounds pretty good right now. I don't need to eat nothing this late though. I'll be up all night. Yep. Well, we'll probably have to come back down this one a little bit. I don't think we're going to get 99% on top of that one. I should have went down the other road. I'm already halfway down this one now. I guess we could switch over right here. Kind of get both of them. I still think we're going to have to come back down though. Yeah, we'll have to come back down some. We're gonna have to get to that fat part, I think, before it's gonna complete. Comes 78. It's this big field up in front of us. Oh, this is going to take forever. Now, hard economy is something you can choose in the game. You have easy, normal, and hard. We've just always played on normal. Yeah, I wanted to make it a little more rough at the beginning. We have to be picky and choosy about what we do. And I would have liked to not started with greenhouses, but to make any kind of money off our farm during the winter, that's what I had to do. Because I wasn't going to have any kind of money making ability without doing the greenhouse and that production building. I'll be done in 2 years. What, with the farm? No. Or with this contract? Yeah, maybe. Because I don't even know if we'll finish it in this stream. 'Cause I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to go. I'm getting tired. I want to at least get it to like 30%, 40%. I mean, I'd like to get done with it so we could see if we're going to be able to get any more contracts. But I don't think that's going to happen. Now, if I had an 8 meter, maybe. But with this 4 meter, this one's going to take a minute. Yeah, when you do a headland on a field and you only break 10%, that it's a big field. Yeah, 55 was the other one I did. I think it's a little bit bigger than this one because it's not quite as long, but it's a good bit wider. I want to say that's the one I did. It took a while, but it paid like 4,000 more than this one is. So. Let's see. Let's look on the map. Go ahead and collect that too. Alright, so this one is 10.38 acres. And that one is 12.25, so yeah. It's about 2 acres bigger. I'm just going to go straight here. But yeah, I like the struggle. If I started out with all big equipment, it would take me no time to get where I need to get. So, hey, it's raining. That means our tractor's gonna get dirty. Um, oh, what was that one called? Frankenmuth or something like that. Yeah, it was called Frankenmuth, I believe, was the name of that one. Yeah, I was getting into that one really good whenever uh, the update made it to where I couldn't get Farming Simulator anymore. And then when I got it finally working again, I just decided to start again, start over, because it was a long time in between. Yeah, I think it was called Frankenmuth was the name of that map. The one that had that huge wheat field that took all day to harvest. It took 3 headlands to get, well, 2 full headlands and another row on this one to get to 20%. We can start going up and down after this one. Actually, we can start going up and down on this row because we have room on the other side. So, Yeah, I got enough to get it finished. Let's still just under half a tank. I'll have to fill up afterwards. But I'm gonna try to finish it. As long as I don't start yawning all the time, I'll be alright. I'm not sure how much it is a gallon. That's a pretty good price though. My mom used her Kroger points to let us fill it last time, and we got it for like $1.49 a gallon or something like that. It was insane. She had so many points. I put every drop that would go in the tank for that. Yeah, it was only like $18 or $19 to fill up my car. Like, man, that would be nice on a regular basis. We're gonna leave that little strip. Hopefully, not have to get it at the end. Oh, it came from my truck. I got you. I don't have a truck. You talking about an ATS? You siphoned my gas? I guess you deserve it after that wreck. That's alright. I got enough money to fill back up. I hear you. So almost 50%. Almost 60% done. Yep, still a good bit left. 62%. Yeah, has been raining for a while. Yeah, something like that. Yep, 9 more rows. 8 after this one we're starting. So. I was hoping fast forwarding to that hour would stop the rain, but guess not. Just keep on going. Guys, thank you for joining in. If you like what you're watching, don't forget to hit that like button. Also, consider subscribing to the channel. That notification bell. We'll be streaming this game every night from 8 to 8:30ish till nowish. Anywhere from 2.5 to 3 hours. But every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And this is what I would call a rags to riches challenge. We started off with a tractor, a fertilizer spreader, and 4 bags of fertilizer, or pallets of fertilizer, and we had to purchase everything else. We had no land. We have purchased 1 piece of land that we have put 2 greenhouses, a production building, a buying station, a repair station, a water fill up, and then we bought this cultivator and a plow, and we have a water trailer in our house. So that's what we've been able to buy so far. We're saving up for land and all that to get going in the spring. It would have been nice to get a field and all that planted before this month is over, but we aren't going to make it money wise, I don't think. I mean, we're getting a few more contracts up that we can do next time. When we finish this field, it'll be the end of this stream though. This has been a long one, but this one's worth a little over 12,000, so it's going to put us close to that 40,000 range. We need roughly, to get a seeder and land, we need roughly 110,000. So Maybe a little less because we could buy a small field, but the cedar is 49,500 unless it pops up in the sale, which we'll check again. But I don't. Yeah, yeah, that car. That's what came up for sale. I mean, I could buy this cheap tractor, but it's only 95 horsepower. All it would be able to do was, well, both of these. This one goes up to 130, but they'd basically be able to do cultivation contracts and fertilizing contracts. They can't even pull the plow we have. So um, I'm going to wait for a better tractor. And I would prefer not to buy tractors in the sale anyway because their repair bill is astronomical. Other stuff like trailers and things like that, where it doesn't affect the usefulness of the item, I will buy in the sale. But like harvesters and tractors and headers and stuff like that, I generally try not to buy in the sale unless it's just a really, really good deal. Like, um, like if I had a 300 horsepower tractor for like 90,000, yeah, I'd probably buy that. But mostly we're going to buy new items. Other stuff maybe, but as far as like motorized equipment, things like that, we're going to stick with new stuff. But anyway, so we have purchased field 46 up here, and we turned that into a yard. We got our two greenhouses and our house, our production building, and then a sell point, a repair station, and a fill station, and a water station. And that's it. That's what we have right now. Hopefully, when we turn over to November, our greenhouses and production building will have given us a decent chunk of change, but I don't think we're going to get enough contracts in this month, with it already being 2 o'clock in the afternoon, that we're going to get enough to be able to do that, because we still need at least another 40K, probably even more than that. I haven't looked at the land, but we have to buy land up near where our big thing is. We can't just go buy the cheapest field on the map. I want to keep everything kind of close by, grow outward, so we could purchase any of those fields up around that area, like 44, which is like 60,000, 45 is 95, 47 is 47,000, this one's 97, this one's 78. So we could purchase any of these fields along through here. 147 is pretty cheap, but that's really the only cheap field. That one's not too bad, but we're still looking at basically 100 grand to be able to purchase land and a cedar, which we would need to do land. So we probably won't buy any of that stuff until February, because we can't do anything with the land once we buy it right now, because this is the last month we can plant any kind of crop that we'd be able to harvest with a regular harvester. So now the harvester we will be buying is a modded harvester. It's a small harvester, but it goes fast and it holds all of it, like 200 and something, I think 200,000 liters. Just because I don't want to have to stop and unload much, because I like putting workers on harvesting and then just let them finish the field, and then I can transport it. Saves time. Of course, we'll be doing most of the work in the first, at least probably year and a half, because we won't have but one tractor. So we might let a worker harvest, but most likely we'll just do it ourselves. Alright, we're at 97,000, 98 now, or 97% real, 98. We should finish this up about halfway down this row, and then we can collect our check and see see what other contracts we might be able to do next time. Let's go ahead and go until it says we're complete. Yep, that's what I figured, about halfway. Alright, so let's pick that up. Let's head back home and we'll go ahead and fill up the tractor with some old diesel fuel. There's still a lot of fields that need field work. We're just not getting them that we could actually do. There is a plowing contract and I think a fertilizing contract that we could do, but we don't have time to do those tonight. So let's, and I do use this because we can't use other things on the map. I use this to do all of my purchasing, so it does diesel as well. Let's go ahead and look at what we got going on. There's our cell point, our production building, our little house, and our 2 greenhouses. So let's go ahead and collect on that contract. Alright, now we do have a couple of fertilizing and one more plowing contract we can do, and we'll do that before we move on because that's another 6, 7, 14,000, and we need that money. It would be nice if we could get a seeder and do these 2 sowing contracts, which would take forever, but if we can get enough to buy that after doing those other contracts, we might, just to try to make more money to set us up for the spring. But we'll find that out. Let's go ahead before we get off. Let's look at our production buildings. So our farm production building here, it doesn't have a lot, but it's getting some liters of stuff. It's going to take a while to get all those up. Pig food, that's a byproduct. I'm not even making that. I don't even have it cut on, I don't think. I think it's just a byproduct of other things. But we got a little bit of stuff coming in from our greenhouses. And then our greenhouses, excuse me, producing some lettuce and some strawberries and some tomatoes that we'll be able to sell. So you see what we have there. So, we'll be making a little bit of money off of our buildings. Of course, there's still some stuff here that hasn't transferred over yet. Like, we do have peas being made, but they're slow. Peas. Yeah, they only do 570 something. Now, I can't remember. Does this make olive oil? I don't remember. I don't see it. Oh no, it does. I need to cut olives on. Be a little bit more money, not a lot, but a little bit. Alright, we'll activate that one. And activate that one. And we need to change that to storing. Wait, no, not in here. It needs to distribute, that's right. Alright. Yeah, we can only store and distribute. We can't just let stuff pile up. We have to sell our stuff every month. Now we can add, like here, we can add seeds and fertilizer to these to double our production basically, but that's expensive and we don't have that right now. So that's where we're going to leave it today. I do appreciate you guys being here with me tonight. And if you haven't already, consider hitting that like button, that subscribe button, that notification bell. And also, don't forget to leave comments down below. All that stuff for you is free. Helps me and the channel grow, and I do appreciate all the support you guys have given me so far. You guys rock. I love you guys. I hope y'all have a blessed day, and I hope to see you in the next one.